What's up, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Snack Friday. It's a great evening here on the Late Night Snack. Austin, how we doing, brother?
Doing all right.
Man, I can't get over you and that Spider-Man dancing in that street, man, in that video, man.
I know it was crazy. I don't even remember that day. It was a very, very interesting time that day. I might have been tripping on stuff. I don't remember, and I don't remember if the stuff I had was laced, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Hey, you found a nice female there to dance with you, though, man. That's what's nice about it, man.
Oh yeah. It was
Oh yeah,
stuff.
good stuff. What's up, G Major? I seen G's already popped in the chat. What's up, brother? What is going on? I know we got the Batman. We got the Batman logo up. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But I still hadn't seen the Batman. I don't sure. Austin, have you seen it yet either?
I have not. I might see it this weekend, but that more so comes down to what's going on and
yeah, I'm same way because thing is, some of my kids want to see it, but I've heard like some of my young ones, it ain't good. It's not really a movie to see anybody like that's like under 12 or so. They say so.
Yeah, it's really slow and not a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
that way.
3 hours long. We're gonna still talk about it. I pulled up some box office numbers. So basically, we're gonna like the title says, is it a success or not? Yes and no. To me, in my opinion, yes and no. Looking at some of the numbers, and then we got to talk about. We got Deadpool got a director today. They announced that. A lot of stuff happened. The last few days has been like loads between the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. There's some controversy on that. DC had a massive delay in their films, which I believe, today the Discovery Network merger was approved by Discovery Network's shareholders. So that's officially going to be, I think they said April 12th or something like this. They'll officially own Warner Brothers. So I think that might have had a cause in it. We didn't really, they didn't say that the other day. It was like, holy crap, we're, all these films getting pushed back to 23. So we'll sort of discuss that. I know Austin probably has a little wrestling news. I've seen some bits and pieces. Something went down this week. I know something. Did Brock lose his belt or something?
No. I believe there was like this show at MSG. It really wasn't like that big of a deal, but something big did happen tonight. I believe Big E broke his neck, actually.
Oh, wow. And then we still got this rumor of Cody Rhodes coming into WrestleMania, but which I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if it's an AEW something they just trying to mess with WWE, and the WWE's just running with it, just trying to get some views. While Cody, because that's be a big thing. Cody Rhodes showing up at WrestleMania. And then on top of AEW bought Ring of Honor out. So they bought that promotion out. So, and they're going to run, what it sounds like they're going to run both promotions, and that could be a Cody Rhodes thing there also, where, they're pushing this Cody Rhodes thing WWE, and he could actually be like in charge of Ring of Honor, and they could do like some kind of Ring of Honor invasion of AEW or something, which I'm hearing also. So we don't really know until, we just see some official, or until he shows up on WWE, or, he shows back up on AEW. We really don't know, because they really has not been a official contract. He had plans for him to fight Seth Rollins, I heard, but that has right now been scrapped. So we don't know. So a lot of interesting stuff. G, what is going on? I know G's. If G wants to come in a little bit, I'll probably let him come in, because I know he did see the Batman. I mean, he could help us fill out a little bit of stuff. But we'll start with that first. Let me see. I had okay, the Batman. Well, first off, the first opening weekend it did $128 million, which was not bad. But was you expecting to do more, Austin? Let me see.
Well, to be honest, I didn't think it was going to make like Spider-Man numbers. Like, it wasn't going to make like absurd amount of money. I kind of predicted I thought it was at least going to make 150, not 128. I thought it would have at least made 150, 175. But I mean, 128 is still good for post-COVID times and what's going on in the world right now. So it's like you can't really do better than that. So I mean, right now I think currently it's like gross like a total of over 300.
Well, yeah, I got that numbers too. That's what I was. Let me pull. I say this is the thing. Batman earns 128 million box office. It's the year's biggest opening so far. I mean, it didn't beat Spider-Man, but so far that's the. Well, there hadn't been really nothing out besides what Scream and the Tom Holland film. What was it?
Uncharted.
Uncharted. I think there really hasn't been nothing else since. I think that's the only two really big films that's been out. So it's hardly had anything really to compare against. I mean, there was worries they wasn't going to break 100. I mean, I heard a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, when I knew we went on Basco's channel, we was doing predictions. I think I picked 100 and 115 or something like that. And I know Danny and them were like, they were picking like 170s and somebody picked 200. I don't know. It's just the thing with the 3 hour thing was sort of, to me, and then the thing about the kids, because it's hard to sell a movie like this. The kids can't, kids under 12 can't see it, and trying to sell toys and stuff. So that's the Spider-Man. That's just a toy grab. That's just a toy heaven thing for them. All three Spider-Man. You can sell all three Spider-Man as toys and different things for a movie. So this one's going to be kind of hard where I know they got toys out, but it's kind of hard to sell toys to something and you can't even let the kids see the movie. So
yeah.
Let me see. Let me get to the. All right, let me get to. I see what it's got up to. I was looking at it earlier. All right. This is the box office mojo. So let me put it up there. Okay, this is the grossest since Thursday. So this is what it has worldwide since Thursday. It's only did 172 domestic. Worldwide is 296, which
because the numbers I have up is saying 318. So I don't know if that's if it's off. I don't know if that's off on my end, but
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, this is Thursday, so they might, we've already in the Friday, so worldwide they might have popped in. It's probably worldwide a little more. But I meant 172 for his first. Well, that's what's going into the second week. Oh, it is full. Well, pretty much full week going into the second week, which is not bad. But at this rate, I don't see it breaking $1 billion.
No, it's not going to, and I didn't. Yeah. I'm not expecting it to. Like with Spider-Man, I expected it because there was more expectation and hype around it. Whereas this one, I was really hyped about it, but I was also thinking realistically, it's it's not going to be a movie for everybody because even if you take the kids out of the equation, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea because of it being a small film. It's going to be darker, grittier. A lot of people are not fans of that, and I understand it's not for everybody, but I mean, if it at least makes 700 to 800 million, it's still a success. I mean,
I don't, being it that way and knowing, and they don't really want to make kids. I'm surprised they didn't just make it a rated R film. I mean, that'd be kind of hard to take, a Batman as a rated R film, but if you're going to push it that close, and you're pretty much basically telling the kids not to go, I would maybe went that extra step. Like I said, I haven't seen the film, so I mean, I've heard it's pretty close to a rated R as you can get. I mean, if especially G comes in, he probably tell us. And like they said, over in England or something or one of those countries, they're telling the kids they won't let kids without a parent, or something. They can't even see that movie. So it's kind of they're treating it like a rated R, hard R movie anyway. So. But with the numbers, I'm looking at it. Like I said, I mean, I can see what happens this weekend. See how much how much it falls off. That's what I know somebody was talking to me last week. And I said, "Oh, this has got $1 billion. It's going to make $1 billion." I was like, "Well, dude," I said, "It's going to have to at least break 100 for the but it needs to go close to 200. If you're pushing $1 billion." for that first over weekend, because you're going to lose 50, close to most time 50 to 60%. The gross the second week. So that 150 is going to possibly be maybe 60, 70, maybe on the high end. So. And it's hard. It's hard to worldwide's is tricky anyway. So I'm hearing they're going to get a China release, so that will help them out there. But you can't really bank on the worldwide all the time. So unless the worldwide they put up $800 million worldwide, then of course it can going to get that. But they're going to have. It's kind of hard to get $1 billion without at least being like 250 or close to 300 right now domestic. Because it's going as the weeks come, you got Doctor Strange, you got Morbius, it's not going to get those high numbers.
Right. And I think honestly WB releasing it now is kind of a smart move, because that way you're not competing against those big films. Because even against Morbius, I think Batman will do fine, because Morbius is not. It's not like one of those movies that everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's Morbius! Oh my god, it's like you gotta run out to see it." It's gonna be like one of those films. It's like it's a Sony film, and I'm like, great, I gotta talk about Morbius and then all that other good stuff. Like Doctor Strange, it's fucked. Like there is no better terms to put it. It's practically screwed because it's Doctor Strange. It's a Marvel film. And and by that point, it's been out. It'll be out for like what, 2 months.
Well, that, and you got what HBO Max was mid-April or something like that. It's gonna have a release date on HBO Max, so that will pretty much kill it. Because I'm right now, if I don't get to see it this weekend or possibly next weekend, I'm gonna pretty much wait for the HBO Max, because it's gonna be like. Because they'll start moving them out of the bigger theaters. You'll get some of the smaller. You won't get them big, nice, nice theaters. So I'm sort of, if I don't get to see it, I'm gonna watch it, like I said. But it might just be in case I might have to wait. I might wait till HBO Max if it's still gonna be released in April. So
yeah. After I watch it, in the theater, I'm definitely gonna watch on HBO Max, because it is one of my it was actually my most anticipated film of the year, because of being a big Batman fan and them going more in like this year 2 approach. Because Arkham Origins is actually an underrated game of mine that I feel like doesn't get a lot of praise, and it kind of gives me Arkham Origins vibes with this aggressive Batman, like guy who takes no names, kicks ass, and but at the same time, like he's still trying to figure out who he is. Like, is he Bruce Wayne? Is Bruce Wayne the Mask? Is Batman the Mask? Like, I love that concept. And so, and bringing the Riddler, a character we have not seen since Batman Forever. Oh my God, man! It was such a refresher knowing that the Joker is not involved whatsoever. Thank God. And then just having like that breath of fresh air and something different with this character, because how many times can you really see the same Batman story over and over again?
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, and this goes off the subject, and it's ain't fun. Well, another reason why I haven't really seen too is because of gas prices. Because like we lost our feeder here in town, so I got to drive 50 miles, and right now we're getting like almost $4.50 a gallon right now. So that's sort of, and that takes a little bit of a tank of gas to go there. So, and I'm thinking, if I go over there, I'm going to spend the whole day over, and I'm going to, I may watch 2 movies. I don't want to, if I got to go to the, it's got to be worth it going to the coast now. So it's like, so definitely, that's sort of put a stink in it too. So on me on that. So there's Sherry. Hey, welcome, Sherry. Welcome, Sherry. And G, I just popped G in here a second ago. G, what is going on tonight, brother?
What up, brother? What up? Nah, just relaxing, man.
Relaxing.
I had to work. I did a little mix earlier today. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. Nice. The old little classic house mix. Funny little stuff. So, yeah, this is great topic, man. I mean, seriously. You guys didn't see it. I'm not going to, no spoilers.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought this was a great version of Batman. And everybody got to understand, this is year 2. He's a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see this, you're going to learn a lot in his sophomore year. You see him make his mistakes, but it's great. Patterson does a great job as the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to take the Riddler and what they did was amazing. I would say that this movie is a combination of The Godfather and Saw.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. I got to ask you a question. Austin, you can cover your ears because it's sort of a spoiler, but I've already know about this. If you want to cover your ears on this one, I want to ask G about this. Okay, I seen a rumor today that we're probably going to see Bane in the next one because there's a thing in the movie that's Bruce Wayne drinks something. It looks like green toxin or something.
Right.
Looks like that Bane juice. So I was like, is that correct? What I pretty much I heard somebody told me that. So, and then
see,
there was
I heard that same thing, but the thing is, Bane got his stuff from Venezuela. He's a Venezuelan villain, which everybody's talking about. Oh, Bane was good in Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. I'm like, nah, you don't understand what Bane does. I mean,
or Batman. Oh, the Batman and Robin, he was in it too. That was a terrible Bane.
Oh, that was terrible. But you go back to the animated one, that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. Android says, I know they tease another villain near the end of the Joker. Pretty much Joker is what you're saying is in the cell.
Yeah, it's supposed to be your boy from who played Druid in
Yeah, I mean that's out everywhere. I mean, and they said there's a deleted clip, so I'm hoping at HBO Max they put that clip in there. If actually they're going to do that, so I hope they actually put that in there that they took out. But that's the thing about this HBO Max release. We may get a lot because we may get it won't be the Snyder cut, but we might get the 4-hour cut of this movie.
Right.
Because they said they cut a lot of stuff out, so we may get like I said, a 4-hour the Batman cut.
And that's the thing. Somebody said like they could have cut this thing. I said, you know where you cut this movie down, you will lose all kind of stuff.
See, and I don't want
if you cut this movie down to like 2.5 hours, you would no. Ain't no way you can do it. No way.
Yeah, the Android says he don't want to see the Joker. Yeah, that's the thing. I know a lot of people was getting tired of the Joker because it's like every movie, they start off with the Joker or the Joker's in the second movie or something. I know there's so many. There is a lot of characters that they haven't even really touched the surface of. I mean, you go back to some they have used. They could really do I think Danny was saying Mr. Freeze. We didn't get a good Mr. Freeze. We got an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, and that wasn't.
Well, you're looking at a grounded Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road, but not yet. But you know what I want to see is especially a grounded Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You talk about somebody who wants to, who's a eco-terrorist and do things to screw up the world. I can see that. Now, somebody said Killer Croc. If you get somebody who had a bad health problem and only can live on the water or something like that, especially with the Riddler just blew up the dam. I mean, the water walls and everything. That could be interesting.
Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Clayface, Killer Croc. Yeah, Clayface, we have never seen a Clayface, so that's a bit interesting.
Clayface. I don't know about Two-Face because we've already seen him twice at this point.
But he's a grounded character just like
he is. So, I mean, it would work, but maybe they could do like a Hush if they wanted to.
Yes.
Like, I think I brought this up, maybe a Victor Zsasz or like the Calendar Man if they wanted to. Like, I think there's just so many possibilities they can do. Like, even then, they could even do like some of the more exaggerated villains because you kind of think about because Batman, even in the comics, is grounded in a way, but it's still kind of like exaggerated and a little silly. Like you have Bane, who's like hopped up on Venom, and he turns into like the super hulking monster, and Mr. Freeze is a frozen guy, and then Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy does stuff with plants, which even then, what? Honestly, I wouldn't even mind them doing a Poison Ivy, even if
I can see.
Then there's this Kite Man.
Can see that Kite Man.
The Condiment King.
But you could do Lockup that runs Arkham. If you think of the old animated series.
And that's I'm disappointed about. I heard that was another news thing. They canceled that Arkham Asylum show they were going to do for HBO Max. I guess they're going to still do the Penguin. They're still doing as right now I know they're still doing the Penguin show, but the Arkham show got canceled, or it's on hold maybe, or on something.
I can tell you what, they did the Penguin thing in the movie really good with his club, the Iceberg, especially. You're gonna love this because it's back of my thing.
I know. I see that background. I like that.
That's our Renaissance Center, and they showed that on there in Detroit.
Wow, nice.
The scene coming into the club, the music playing is a Detroit techno song because Detroit started techno.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. Everybody in the theater's like,
Well, here's another question, G. I mean, this ain't really a spoiler, but Robin, did they have anybody? I didn't heard nobody say they distinguished a Robin in there. They said there was some kids maybe here and there.
Right.
But do you see Robin coming in the second film, or you think they're gonna hold off maybe to the third film or something?
Well, there was a point where the current, I guess it was current mayor, I can't remember. He died. And there was the kid there, and he saw Batman, and everybody thinking like he might be a Robin. I'm like, I can't see it because, like I said, this is a younger Batman. It was an older Batman, maybe.
Yeah, the Penguin was the best part of the movie. He was fired. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He Colin Farrell did a great job playing the Penguin.
Well, like that kid, it really spoiled him. There's that kid. So he's real young. So, I like the next film. I don't see them. See, that's sort of good if they're going to do that. If he is going to be, that means that he won't be in the next one. Possibly, maybe the third one. So we got, we're going to see the character age a little bit. So, I don't want to say the kid now is Robin, and now he's already 20 years old now. And
right.
Because they won't look the same.
And here's the thing: you're talking about you're changing the course of history because it's usually Dick who lost his parents in the circus. Now you're taking a kid that lost his, in the movie. So I mean, we're used to movies changing things, X-Men and all kind of stuff. Yeah. So it could work. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, see, that gives me hope because like I said, I hadn't seen the film, and like everybody's telling me, it's slow. It's progressing the story. It ain't gonna be just action. Like Dark Knight was or something like that. It's a growing story. So that gives me hope that they will continue the character. If I'm really enjoying it, they're gonna continue this character, and it's not gonna be a one and done movie. See, that's what I was worried about. God, this movie's going to be a one and done, and then in 2 years from now, we're going to another Batman. We're going to get a different Batman. They'll pick somebody else. We'll have, whoever, they're going to pick another Batman. And then I guess we'll have to start the story all over again. It's like, make it good for we can at least get 3 films out of it. Maybe more.
And somebody brought up this point. DC can make great standalone movies. They can't make convoluted movies that continued into other more. Yeah. And I sit there, I was like, yeah, you're right. They can't. Because when they do, there's, wait a minute. They said this and they said that. And they can make standalone movies. They can't make movies that continue on to each other?
Oh, it's like the Dark Knight trilogy. I really liked the first two. The third one I wasn't the biggest fan of. It was okay, but it's not. It was least my favorite. I love the first one, Batman Begins. I really like that. I love that. And then the Dark Knight's good. The bad thing about the Dark Knight is they killed Two-Face, so they killed a big villain out there. So he didn't progress his. And the Joker, I mean, the problem with that is, I mean, with the Joker guy, I mean, he was pretty much dead because there's nobody could have reprised that role. So
no, they couldn't.
So the Joker's pretty much dead. So I mean, that's something we couldn't do about. But I said that's the only bad thing is you going in, and so Bane, on that third one, we're going to end this now, and there was no hope for a fourth film, or
What drives me nuts about that is he's talking English. I'm like sitting like the guy's from Venezuela. Where's going on? And I just and somebody in Danny said the same thing. Comment chat, everybody. Why can't you get the people that do your animation movies to do your movies?
Exactly.
And I told somebody, well, DC it's not DC, it's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers stepped their foot in everything. I think Matt Reeves said, you let me do this film like I want to do, you're gonna make some money. The same thing with The Rock with Black Adam. He said, you let me do the thing. Let me do the thing. I think also was Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie. They want to take out the battlefield scene, and then she said, "No, that's staying."
Yeah. Well, that brings me up to our next thing. This was a major thing that happened 2 days ago too. DC's shuffling all their films again, so all this expectations we were going to get this year, we're going to get a few, but not as much. And today we're pretty much it's a reason why, because the Discovery merger with Warner Brothers, I guess they officially the shareholders of Discovery approved it, so it's going to be. They'll officially own Warner Brothers by like mid-April, they said, because I was like, what? Because this was sort of like, why the hell are we delaying these films, especially The Flash, till next summer? And they're saying that pretty much is Warner Brothers did this that's what they were saying now, that Warner Brothers did this they'll have content for next year that to prove the Discovery. A lot of those guys are worried for their jobs because they think Discovery's going to go in there and they're going to slash everybody, which they might need to, especially in that movie division, because they have really screwed up some movies in Warner Brothers this last year. So,
oh yeah, that is definitely true.
So, with this shuffle, we're going to get we're supposed to get Black Adam this summer. So the Super Pets is taking his spot. Well, actually, I want to see that. It looks actually pretty funny. The dogs and stuff with the Rock.
Keanu Reeves is playing Batman.
Keanu Reeves. I think Chris Rock is in it. I think there's a bunch. It looks funny. It actually looked pretty funny. So, but with that, we got Black Adam. Black Adam's moving to October. Now we had that spot. Aquaman was in December against what's it called? Avatar 2. But they moved Shazam 2 in its spot, and he moved Aquaman over to April, and then the Flash went all the way to the summer. And I'm not sure what I know they were working on Batgirl to me. I don't know when that's coming out,
that's insulting that you're gonna tell me you're gonna move the movie I made to face off a sequel to a blockbuster. That's kind of cold.
Well, you know what? I don't think they have faith in Shazam 2, and I don't think Shazam 2 is going to make money.
I think it sounds like they don't.
That is the main reason, because they should have kept Two-Face alive in dark. Yes, exactly, Ninja. That's exactly what I think, because that was a waste of a great character. The news pisses me off. Yeah. I mean, it sucks because we got to wait longer. I was looking forward to this Flash movie. I was looking forward to see, are they going to try to and somebody was bringing that up too. They may, they're pushing that Flash movie Snyder might be getting his wish. He might be getting his little Snyder Cut 2 and all that back, because
right.
with this new owner, I've been hearing that, Snyder is friendly. I think it's Joseph Malone or somebody. It owns Discover. That he's tight with them, with the couple of people that runs that organization. So Snyder may get his wish. It may not be a movie. It might be going to HBO Max. I don't, who knows? And maybe then the Flash might get canceled. You never know. They might decide just to cancel the Flash altogether. It might, I don't know how much of the movie's been filmed, but
So when they're moving the Flash to?
All the way to next summer. So
good grief.
so summer 2023. So I don't know what if it's June or it says summer 2023. But like I said, Black Adam we won't see till October now. So I was looking forward to that this summer. So that's another 3 months after summer we got to wait. Almost October, and I mean Shazam I really don't care about. I mean I didn't like the first one, but I mean Aquaman I was interested in that, so we gotta wait
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. I got friends who like,
yeah.
I was like,
so about this time next year. So we got a solid year to wait for, and then like I said, the Flash we gotta wait a full freaking a year and change on that one. So. And they ain't mentioned up to, and pretty much, and what I'm hearing also that we could see a lot of DC cuts. Maybe that's the reason why this Batman Arkham Asylum show got delayed or canceled. Maybe because of this too. So
right,
because they're gonna come. That's the thing, when you see a merger happen, people's gonna lose their jobs and projects getting cut. That's what happened with Fox when Disney took over.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. You might see there might be some reshoots going
on. Disney cut like they said 200 movies that was in development at Fox when they bought them. And a lot of those movies actually went to Netflix. Picked up a lot of those movies. They said. Some of these new Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. I think there was going to build a Mega Man. They was doing a Mega Man movie at Fox, and I think Netflix picked that up too. But yeah, a lot of those movies Netflix picked up, and I think some Paramount, and it's because Disney was like, they don't, they got their own brand, so they got, they turned it to 20th Century Studios, but they only want to do like 10 films. Fox was, doing 20 some, so they only want to do 10 films a year or so. And a lot of their movies is weird that, they're not even releasing them in the theater. They're using the old Fox studios as pretty much dump it on Hulu or dump it in Disney Plus. Because like the new Predator movie, it's not even going to theater. It's going right to Hulu. And I think they're doing an Alien movie the same way. So it's kind of
all right.
Sort of like sort of like doing like Netflix. They're just making movies for the service and all that. But yeah, so that's it sucks, and like a lot of people were saying, I've heard a lot, even like Rob and different other people was saying that, this was going to be DC's year, not saying they would have going to beat Marvel, but they used to say they were going to shine. They said, we're back on the step, they don't have to beat Marvel, but, be competitive. They were up there like, hey, we got 4 films here that's people looking forward to.
That's true, because when Marvel did the right thing, it's like, look, we're going to do a superhero movie, and then we're going to do this one, and then we'll tie them together. DC went nuts and just started to throw everything out, and it's like, no, it don't work that way, dude. No, you can't just throw a movie out and think it's gonna work that way because everybody love Batman, Superman, but you don't put the right product out, it's gonna kick you in the ass.
Yeah,
because me with Batman, Superman versus Superman, I didn't like it. If they did like the animated movie, World's Finest, where Lex joined with the Joker to kill both of them. Oh, that was been perfect.
Yeah, here it is, G. The Black Adam was supposed to be July 29th. It's now going to be October 21st. And then the Super Pets that was going to be May 20th is going to take its July spot. What's down here? I've seen it. All right. Aquaman was going to be December 2022. It's going to be March 17th, 2023. And Shazam's going to take its spot. See, Shazam wasn't going to be released till June of 2023. So that definitely means if they're going to push it up against the other thing, they probably just like, well, we're going to hold this other film back. And and then I think it said, where's the Flash? I think it said June. I think it said June of 2023. Where's it at? Flash is. I thought it said June. I think it said June. Yeah, June 23rd, 2023. So we got a long time for that movie.
Wow.
So
that's ridiculous.
And like I said, you never know. And maybe they did that because they maybe figuring they may scrap it.
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. WB are morons.
Mm-hmm.
Be and forever will be morons.
Well, that's like Nindroid said, man. This year was going to be a knockout, and then plus we lost that Batman show. I'm like, we're just going to have a hell of a content battle there.
And just finished Thor too.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, they still got some movies out there, but with that change around, it put Marvel in more advantage this year because, like I said, that Doctor Strange movie is gonna hit hard. I mean, really, I don't even count Morbius because that's sort of a Spider-Man Sony project, but it is a Marvel, so
I think I actually think that's going to do good. I'm not like blockbuster good, but it'll be entertaining.
Yeah. And then Thor probably, depending on how Doctor Strange, I mean, they said I think Doctor Strange is going to go right into Thor, so that's probably going to be a big hit this year. That could be $1 billion. I don't know. I mean, that's a summer movie. And then you got that Spider-Man animated film that's going to do good because everybody loved the first one.
I forgot about
That's in October. That was going to go up against Black Adam because that's around that same time. So that's going to be very interesting. And then we got. I don't know about the Black Panther. See, still the Black Panther film, I'm not sure about because
I don't think it's gonna come out in November.
I know Ryan Coogler I don't think he got arrested for in a bank in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that thing is out of. It's cool about the situation, but pretty much he just want to be discreet. Getting money out, and the girl freaked out with how he did it, and that's the story. But when the cops talked to him, everything was cooled out. He said the cops are fine. He's like, thank you.
I'll be taking my money out of that bank. I
know. Bank in America. That was.
I know. I have them here, and I can't. They're the worst bank ever. I can't stand them. They're a god awful bank. But I'll be going to what's the other banks around here? SunTrust or one of them. I'll be going to some different bank. I'll be changing banks after that, man. And I would make and then go to them and say, hey, and then give me a commercial on there and then say I go to SunTrust or wherever, Chase or Chase Bank or something. And he can make another paycheck out of it,
Right. He showed her his bank card and everything. Yeah. She just like, you didn't call the cops. I don't trust him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that was just a messed up situation. But he did it really cool. He didn't go out and say, do you know who I am and everything? And the cops.
Well, they were saying because he had a mask. Well, everybody has a mask on because they were forcing everybody to wear masks in the city. So, I mean, what the hell? I mean, yeah, they didn't want it. Well, I don't blame him because he wanted $15,000 out of his account. Do you want somebody to say, hey, do you want those at $15,000 in 20s or 50? I mean, you hear people when you're in a bank, you don't want to overhear you because you don't want the guy over there like looking over by the bush at the water fountain saying, well, I can go grab this guy. He's got $15,000 in his hand when I walk out of the thing. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I mean, I sitting there like you won the lotto, and you sitting there like, I'm trying to be discreet and everything, and just
Dude,
but
I used the same thing when I worked for a retail. I used to work for a grocery store, and we had to go to the bank, and they were like pulling out this money. I was like, do not like have it visible, where people are looking. And then they put it in they would have a brown bag, like a brown sack bag, and they would throw it. You can see the 20s and stuff, and everybody in the bank could see this. And I'm thinking, I'm like, holy crap! I'm going to be robbed when I get. They're going to bug me. I had to get a couple, $1,000 for the store. I had to get one. You have to get $1,000 of ones and five, different things, for bank change and coin stuff. And I'm hearing I'm having to hide this freaking big sack, going out the store. And I'm like, out of this bank to go to the store, and I'm like, God, guys, you're going to get me robbed. It's crazy. So I don't blame him. I'm just like, hey, what do you want your 15,000 in 20s,
right,
hundreds, 50s,
right, right. Like, don't be saying that stuff. I'm like,
exactly. So it's a bunch of crap. Well, I mean, even that, I don't think that. I just think, I don't even know if they're shooting still. I know they've had so many shooting delays, and then I've heard maybe they're rewriting some stuff, and hopefully.
I think the main thing what's been going on is with Letitia Wright, because she's not vaccinated and everything. So, but when they said that article, but when he got arrested, it sounded like they're continuing on. I don't think it's going to come out this year.
I would delay it. And I think Feige is smart enough to know it, because I mean, if you get all shooting done by summer, that only gives you like 2 months to do visuals, and exactly. If they have to do reshoots and CGI and all that, I want it to look good. I don't want it to look like that Fantastic Four reboot movie or something like that. So the stuff is so choppy, or even what's the Eternal movie? So you can see it's choppy and something. I mean, we got Namor.
Why you ain't Fantastic, man? Fantastic Four was a bad movie. Come on.
The second one. Yeah, but I'm like, but it was a bad animation or CGI. It could have been good, but it was a bad. The story was bad, but I mean, the CGI was really bad in parts of it. But no, we got Namor. I mean, they haven't confirmed it, but he's in there. I mean, it's pretty
he's in there.
We got Namor, and more likely Doctor Doom. But it's haven't confirmed yet, but more likely Doctor Doom.
I think what's going on is Doom is manipulating Namor to do something.
Tim, what is up, brother?
In the comic books, though, Namor did flood Wakanda. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
I need to get that comic book.
but like I said, we got those two possibly coming into the MCU for the first time. I don't want to be all choppy and like, this is trash, and I'm thinking, I want this movie to look sharp. I want to like the first one. I want to look, crisp and sharp and
right.
Yeah, I don't want to look. You can tell.
They go, see, Marvel's copying DC because we had Aquaman. I was like, no.
No.
Well,
I want to look better than Aquaman. Yeah.
Namor was first, 1939.
But I don't care about him copying. I want it to look good. I don't want to like, what is this trash? We got, we see Atlantis and it's all choppy and, it looks like like they have to cut out the Little Mermaid and put scenes in there or something. Something is so bad because they ain't had time to refix it. I want to look, crisp and look good. I rather wait. I'm a little pissed about that Flash movie, but I will wait an extra 6 months if the movie's good. I want that movie to be good. I don't want it to be trash.
And the thing is, Namor, I think it was introduced in a Human Torch comic book, not the Fantastic Four. Right? Yeah, not the Fantastic Four comic book, but there was another Human Torch back in the day. Because up here, they had a tour of Marvel stuff at one of our museums, and we was like, "Oh, no kidding!" I'm like, "Okay." So, plus, you could introduce the Fantastic Four because Namor had a thing for Susan Richards. So it could be interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll probably. I've been telling everybody. I said we're more likely we're going to get the Marvels 2, or Miss Marvel 2, or what is it called?
Yeah.
More likely that is what, because we're getting a Miss Marvel TV show coming up in I think this summer.
No.
So it ties in with that. It ties.
Wait a minute. Wait. Well, Austinator, you don't want to see that Miss Marvel?
No. First of all, the show is being written by one of the writers that's like made the worst episode of Loki, and I don't like Loki whatsoever. So the fact that it's the worst episode, that already loses me right out of the gate. And then also the fact that I do not like Miss Marvel in the comics, and I'm just like, it's the same thing with Captain Marvel. Not a fan of Captain Marvel in the comics. I thought the movie was going to surprise me. Yeah, let's just say that I thought wrong.
You know what I didn't like about Captain Marvel? I didn't like what they did her story, because she should have been Miss Marvel first before she was Captain Marvel. And then the Marvel, that's what I didn't like. I didn't like the way they did Marvel either. But
they did twist it a different way. That's the worst twisted way. It's not like how 20th Century Fox did the X-Men. They twist everything out of control. I was like,
yeah. So that's what I said. We're more likely that's what we're going to see instead of Black Panther, because they said that movie's done already, and them doing that television show and it's going to tie in right with that movie. I could see it, because that's going to be released in August, more likely, that television show, and then that would put that in October, November, so it'll be right there together. So definitely. Well, here's another little thing I checked. This came out today. Deadpool 3 got them a director, Sean Levy. He did. Oh
yeah.
Free Guy, and he's got that Adam Project. I actually want to see that movie, the Adam Project. It looks really cool.
I heard some people saw it and said it was really good.
I think that was one of the projects 20th Century Fox had, and they let it go, and Netflix picked up, because there was a bunch of them. They said I was reading some of these things that they had in development, because they couldn't see Free Guy. It was already filmed, so I think Adam Levy had a bunch of films he already had set up for 20th Century. And this was one of them, and it looks good. I mean, that Adam Project looks really cool. So, but I think he'd be perfect for Deadpool 3. I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, that's a pretty good choice for a director.
Seems interesting. I mean, I haven't seen the Adam Project.
Oh, yeah, it ain't out yet. It's coming soon. Yeah,
I didn't even know what it was.
Free Guy wasn't bad. I watched it. It was pretty interesting.
Wasn't bad either.
So it's and it's supposed to be rated R. They're not gonna Disneyfy it, so that's gonna be good. I did hear that there was a group of one of those Families Against Violence, television groups is going up again, mad at Disney, and are protesting because because Disney Plus is getting the Marvel Netflix shows, and because of they say all the violence and all that, Disney should not be putting that on Disney Plus. Well, guess what? You know what? If you go Disney Plus outside of the United States, they're right in the front row. United States is the only one that hasn't really, but they're putting a parental advisory. So if you don't want your kids to watch it, lock the accounts. They can't watch nothing over 12 years old. But
that's the biggest thing. Everybody crack up. Oh, good, it's going to Disney Plus. They're gonna like PG-13. I'm like, no, they're not. No. Hell, the fuck no.
You will, and then, you know what? And it gives me hope. Make Blade where it needs to go. Do not waterify Blade.
Bringing that up, Disney Plus is doing a Halloween special called Werewolf at Night,
Blade's
where
gonna be in it.
Moon Knight was part of it. And yeah, Blade. We're gonna see Mahershala Ali as Blade in it.
Well, and Blade was in there in Eternals, so if we make it Eternals too, he was right with the Black Knight. So they're starting to tie it all together. We're going to that Halloween special, and we're going to get They said another one. They're going to have Man-Thing. They're going to do a Man-Thing special too, just like
because
Halloween.
he supposed to he guards the Nexus.
Yeah, I can't wait to. They had a Man-Thing movie. It came out like 20 years. It was really bad.
Oh yeah,
it was really bad. Yeah, but I'm hoping, with Kevin Feige, that's a character would be really interesting to watch. Especially with doing this horror type theme and stuff. I did see that Moon Knight, the Incredible Hulk is Bruce Banner is supposed to be in Moon Knight. They just announced that.
Oh, really?
He might have it might be one episode or something, but the Hulk is going to be in there. So
okay.
So
I think it's going to be Moon Knight's going to be interesting because I told somebody, I said back in the day, I used to collect the comic book, and I know that he used different identities to do what he had to do. Now you're talking about an individual who has a personality problem.
This show's gonna Moon Knight's gonna be close as you're gonna get to Netflix. It's gonna be edgier than any other films or shows that they've produced so far. So
I'm hoping it's gonna be edgy. I think it's gonna be really edgy.
And they're supposed to Daredevil. They're supposed to have season 4. They're going to continue on the Daredevil series, season 4. So
I could tell you from the original Moon Knight comic book, it was a costume, but what they're making it's more mystical now. You're using a god, and you see in the trailers that when he changes to Moon Knight, it's wrapping around, and it's got a mummy look kind of to it. Because it's an Egyptian god. I love that. I love that.
It looks cool. I mean, like I said, it's not a character a lot of people know, but the trailer is very interesting. I mean, it looks good. I mean, this is another thing, and I know everybody bitches about the Disney thing and this, but they're gonna bring a character out that a lot of people don't know, and if this show blows up like I think it's going to, we're going to see this character be just like Iron Man was. Because Iron Man, before the...
Go ahead.
Like in my Iron Man, before Robbie Downey Jr., took over the role of Iron Man, made the movies. People knew Iron Man, but it wasn't that, that famous. It was like it is today. You go into Walmart, you see an Iron Man T-shirt, you see the Iron Man hat, you see the Iron Man toy, you see the Iron Man, everything. It ain't like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been there. You always go, you see Spider-Man, or you see the Superman, or you see the Batman. But I think they're going to bring another character in that basically this is their similar to Batman. This is their version of Batman almost. And we're going to get a year from now, you're going to see Moon Knight stuff all over the place, from shirts, to, toys, to everything. And I mean, it's a franchise. I mean, you just created it's been there, but it was a lower tier character, and now you're gonna I think they're gonna push it up there to just like the Guardians and the a lot of these other characters. Looks like they changed She, man. I mean, they made that character out of a character that was just it's there, but nobody really knew about him, and now it's like and I think when they get that second change She movie out, that character that's gotta just build a franchise out of a small. Small characters they had there in their little play box, they have. So what do you think, Austin? What do you think about it, Austin?
At the same, you kind of look at everything that Marvel has done, and you kind of wonder, especially with the MCU in particular, it's actually kind of amazing just how some of these characters who were basically relatively not necessarily unknowns, but they get lost in the shuffle, and then no one really knows really who they are, especially later times. Like, sure, you have your Spider-Mans, your X-Men's, you know, to a degree. You know, you had your Blades and you had your Fantastic Fours, but really it wasn't until the MCU that a lot of these obscure characters really got like the kick in the ass that it needed. Because look at characters like, you know, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, for examples. Like, a lot of these characters, if you were to tell me, like, if you were to tell somebody that's not really a comic book reader, is like, hey, they're going to make a movie where it's going to be a talking tree, they're in space, and a raccoon, people would be like, that's fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are they smoking? And then yet somehow it managed to be one of the biggest successes they ever had.
And that's the thing where you're talking about and that's the thing what's going on with Warner Brothers. They don't have a Kevin Feige who study the source material. Yes, he might twist it a little bit, but he makes it to work. Oh, honestly, I just want to show you. I want to show you guys real quick. Old Christmas gift from my friend.
Oh, the WandaVision, is that Wanda? A Scarlet Witch, yep.
Yep.
That zombie episode.
The zombies.
That was supposed to be my. That's one of them. The other one was supposed to be Strange Supreme, but it didn't come in. So.
I'll tell you, man, when that movie comes out, we're gonna be talking for months about that movie.
Ooh, child.
I think there is like I mean, we talked a lot about Spider-Man, you know, different channels, and you know this Batman, but I think, man, when that there is so much in that film. I mean, we're gonna be talking about it for a while.
Do you think? Okay, so far, the Batman did 128. I think Spider-Man No Way Home did 2 something. So when Doctor Strange comes out, you think?
I think it's gonna get to 200 or close. I think it'll do maybe not do as much as Spider-Man, but I think it'll break 200 opening weekend. Okay. I think it's like a part 2 of that Spider-Man movie. People want to see where it continues and where it goes from there. And I think at the end of it, if it's way they're talking about it, at the end of it, it's going to go right into Thor 4. It may push Thor up there. You know, that last Thor did really good. You know, it didn't break $1 billion, but
the last Thor was good. No, the last Thor was good.
I know some people like it, some don't, but if it has a lot going on after what happens in Doctor Strange, it could be a really big movie too. Especially them, you know, they're bringing in Gore the God Butcher, and then you bring in that he's got that sword which pretty much ties in with the symbiotes. And if they bring Null from the symbiote gods in there, that's what I'm saying. You're looking at that. You know, if they bring Null and all that, if they bring all them in there, that ties in with the Eternals, that ties in with the Spider-Man. So you're bringing everything back. So I can see there's a big movie coming, and we still got Kang in here too. That's the thing. We got Kang.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
What's up, Basco? There's a link if you want to pop in, bro. I'm posting again. And we got the Ant-Man and Wasp. That's another one. The Ant-Man and Wasp coming out next year. Yeah. And you know here's the thing. They push that flashback, you know when it pushes, but they push that flashback the same time around Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumanium's coming out. And I know everybody bashes that second Ant-Man, but I think this Ant-Man is going to be really, especially bringing Kang in, because it's going to have a lot of
I had no problem with the second Ant-Man.
I mean, it was all right. It was okay. I know a lot of people hated it, and but I think this one is going to be big. I mean, they're going to really bank big on this one, because especially with Kang in, they're definitely going to have a lot more. You're going to see. I know. It's all depending on what it's Doctor Strange. Like I said, those characters might go all into that movie. Right. What's going on, Josh? What is going on? And Poe, what's up, brother? What is going on? So I'm
Bo is
like,
in the house.
Bo
Bo,
is in the house.
Whoa.
So that's like I said, and you know what? I was watching somebody's video that that nobody can figure out it. They say it's Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. The Iron Man Supreme, the Tom Cruise Iron Man, or the Captain Marvel. You know what? It's like the glowing suit.
Yeah.
There's one person they've been like zooming in and the pixels and all that, and they say that's Kang. So they're saying that's Kang. So
what?
That's what they're. I don't know. That's what unless they fiddle around with it, but they're saying that's
the
Kang.
first thing I thought it was the Human Torch.
I saw say we'll get to know, but I mean, Kang has definitely got a. Yeah, he's got to be in here because he's the main guy. Has messed up all this thing, so we got to see a version of him. I would assume in Doctor Strange too.
Right.
He said it's snowing here. Where you? Are you in Atlanta? Or are you in Mississippi? Wow, it's snowing in Mississippi. It's supposed to get cold here today. I don't know what's going on, man. Today it was like
we had snow today, but our ground was so warm, the shit melted in 2 hours.
Dude, felt like it was 100 degrees, man. It was like it got in the high 80s here. It was like felt like you were in a microwave. And we got some rain yesterday, a little bit of today, but we're supposed to get a front end tomorrow, and then it's supposed to drop to like 40 degrees. I'm like, good Lord. I mean, you go from 80 degrees to 40 in one day. So it's like, ugh. It's Josh says no is a freaking boss. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that rumors there are that he's going to be in an end credit scene of Thor 4. So that's the rumors. And depending what Disney's doing with I'm hoping Marvel and Sony are still working together on these movies. I know we've seen these these updates on Kraven. They keep talking about a Madam Web movie and all that. So I just hope they just make sure they're tying in all together. Because we have Spider-Man over here, and then Spider-Man is a completely different person in this movie. So hopefully they're still trying to at least keep them connected. So, but it would make sense. Like I said, we gotta the end of that Spider-Man. There was that goo left. Spoilers. Haven't seen Spider-Man. It's been 4 months, so y'all, if you ain't seen by now, y'all ain't gonna see it. So we had that goo left, and nobody knows who he is. So something's gonna have to come about it. So we got to figure out, what direction they're going to go with that. So anything other topics that y'all have heard of this week, or I know we was talking about the Star Wars the other day, the Kenobi. I know I've been watching people's videos. I mean, they're already getting hate. The hate's already building up on that one hard. So.
Well, let's be fair here. Anything with the word Star Wars in it is always going to do that.
Oh my God!
Let's be real here. Because you want to know why? You want to know why? Sometimes I think it's just a little ridiculous. It's like, can we please, for the love of God, stop with this freaking Disney hate boner? Like, sometimes that's what it is. I mean, it's just this hate bias on Disney, and it's kind of blinding to some people. Like, granted, is some of it warranted? Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to come on here and say that Disney's perfect and everything they did was all peaches and roses. No, that is the biggest lie I would even say. But I'm not going to come on here and say everything was bad. Disney did some things right, but at the end of the day, it's ridiculous. It's like, okay, I understand it's not the EU, even though it was never canon. And even though, yes, to an extent, I can understand maybe the sequel trilogy really hurt people's perception on Star Wars. Trust me, it kind of hurt my perception too. And I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to come on here and be like, oh, Star Wars is perfect. Star Wars is great. And I'm not going to be one of those haters who's like, oh, Star Wars is trash. Why is it trash? Because it is. Can we just please, for the love of God, can we just enjoy it? Like, Is that really too hard to ask? Can we please get out of this freaking whole, oh, well? Because sometimes it's just, a lot of times I understand that people have genuine gripes with Star Wars, and I get that. But other times it feels like people are just saying it just to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get over yourselves. It's a stupid franchise about light swords, people with force powers. Like, guys, it's not that serious. Like, it's really not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind heated debates much of the next guy, but good Lord.
Yeah, let me see. Right, I was gonna. 1 second here. I was gonna pull this picture up. This is what everybody's crying about. Let me see. Where is it at?
Oh, they're probably crying about something really stupid.
Yeah, that's it right here. I see it. Yeah, that's what they're crying about. The Inquisitor. That, and then they're about that female, the female Inquisitor.
Yeah, Bonnie Hunter. Yep.
Yeah, everybody. But everybody's like me and I was on Chris. I went on Chris Edel's stream the other day, and I was in there with, and people were in there just boom, boom, boom. People was upset and all that about. But they've never. I know. Yes, did this. Somebody said they did this species of character in live action before, but we've never seen the Grand Inquisitor in a live action film. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, as long as the story's good. I mean, you can't get exactly like the animated film, because you're never gonna be able to get that. I mean, but I mean, maybe they could have did a little closer, but Cad Bane didn't look exactly like he did in the animated, but he was not a bad character. I mean, the one they need to work on was Boba Fett, but I was saying, I mean, like I said, I want to get, I love the trailer. The trailer, it felt Star Wars. I mean, the music, especially the music. The music sounded really good. Food, hey brother, what is up? Food's in the house. What is going on? But I mean, Robert Storms, he was talking about, he was crying. I didn't cry about it, but but you did get like hairs on you. I got my spider sense. You had goosebumps. I didn't get that. I didn't get too emotional, but I felt it. It was like, wow. Actually, like I was watching one of the original Star Wars, not a Disney Star Wars, but one of the originals with the music and the feel of it. Even some of the even the intro of where they did the Lucasfilm with the sand and all that was really cool. Like I said, it's going to be a tricky. This series here. It's another thing that I see that they're going to be people hating and freaking bitching about it for probably a year or two, because this could be another Last Jedi type, series film that that's a lot of people. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to just hate it, and they're going to be bitching about it. Because I mean, it's depending on how they do it. I mean, if Vader comes to Tatooine and fights Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's going to be a whole hell breaking loose on, especially on these
man.
I mean, because then he pretty much canon is destroyed. Because how are you going to explain that in New Hope? I know, Faye, you can. I know when Chris was saying everything ain't written, because even George Lucas, when he did New Hope, he didn't have Vader as visually Luke's father originally, and him Layla as a sister, and he added that. You add stuff as you go sometimes, but I mean, you do have a like the Sith, where you have the Rogue One movie, and then you have A New Hope. So you sort of know what has to happen, but like I was telling Chris, I know it looks like these Inquisitors, they see his Uncle Owen and all, but they really cannot let like Luke see these guys with the lightsabers and like zooming their swords and stuff. Because especially when if you go to New Hope, when he sees his dad's lightsaber, that's like he has that look like he's never seen one before. He's like, wow, yeah. But if he sees it, if you do that, it'd be like when he on New Hope, he's like, well, I saw these guys when I was 5 years old, swinging these red lightsabers around in the streets of outside my moisture farm. So that sort of will that will cause a lot of problems, But we'll see how it happens. I was gonna say it's gonna be very interesting.
That's true.
Honestly,
that's true.
A sadistic part of me really wants it to happen, just so I can see this entire fandom just explode.
Oh man! Oh my God, dude, it'd be. I mean, you might be. It'd be a hell of a way to get 100 bunch of subs real quick because you'll be doing shows. And we'll be monetized next week if that happens.
Oh my God!
All you have to put Star Wars trash. My opinion. That's all you have to put on there, man. You'll be. I mean, that might be what we need, man. Who knows?
Honestly, that's all you have to do now.
Yeah. Dude, I know. I put some like things on here, like, and I've grabbed people come out of the blue. So just things you say. I say, Food says the race comes from is the episode 2 when Kenobi fights General Grievous. It looks nothing like them on the animated character. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, even Vader doesn't look the same as he does in the animated. So, I mean, you can't really do that. As long as they don't put Grogu in here, if Grogu shows up on this film, then I will have to say something. I mean, long as I like Grogu, but just please don't have Grogu in here. I know he could be in here because the time frame, because he would be alive during this time frame because he was taken out of the temple, till all the way to Mandalorian. But I don't want to see him in this. Please do not have Grogu in here. That's the only thing I say. We could see Ahsoka. Me and Chris was talking. Ahsoka could be, because Obi-Wan's got to leave the planet because there's a part. It looks like a jungle type planet, and maybe that's where Ahsoka is. I look for maybe Andor. This Andor and Cassian show. This would be a way to really push his character, and because a lot of people, unless you really seen Rogue One, you don't know who the hell Andor is. And a lot of people, some people refuse to see it, and some people, because they didn't like after that Last Jedi situation. So that would be a way to push his character, especially if he's in there, and then him especially having a show coming up. So who knows? I mean, there's a couple characters we might see. Maul, Darth Maul in here, because he does it if you do that scene from him and was it Rebels where he comes and Obi-Wan kills him on the planet? So
yeah,
they may redo that scene there. There's a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities in there.
I just can't wait for when Darth Vader shows up on Endor, and then Darth Vader fights. Now, hear me out here. When Darth Vader fights Optimus Prime, and he uses the Elder Wand to take over the Vulcan land. That is going to be the. Would it be one of the biggest Would it be one of the biggest like what the fuck moments, or would it be one of the greatest things?
I agree.
Oh God, just imagine all of that canon, and all the fandom's gonna have a fucking field day with that one. Let me tell you.
Thanos shows up and him Vader fight or something.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
God, the Star Wars fandom is way too easy to make fun of nowadays. I'm like, you know what? You know what? It's really hard being a Star Wars fan nowadays, but you know what? I think everybody deserves to be made fun of at least once. And let me tell you, the Star Wars fandom deserves to be made fun of more than the next person. And let me tell you, I can't wait for if Vader literally comes to Tatooine and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul fight Darth Vader on Tatooine. Oh my God. People are going to be so pissed.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're saying Vader's going to be in every episode. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Man. And we was talking, there's going to be a season 2. I said, I really don't know how you can make this. They're going to be, 6 episodes, I think Chris said, 6 or 7. And really, it's going to be hard to even get 6. I know Luke is little, but how much can you really do? Unless you do that, Darth Maul comes and a few things. What really can you do? I mean, you're going to see him grow, but I mean, you really can't. I mean, if it goes to the point where he's him and they meet up with Han Solo, I mean, there's nothing else you can go. I mean, you really can't go beyond that point. So there's a there's a sort of beginning point and there's an end point. I mean, you can't only do what you can do. And they said possibly younger Boba Fett might be in there too, because there's that scene that he's wielding that blade in front of that bald head guy, and somebody said that might be Boba Fett there. So yeah, who knows? He was a bounty hunter at that time, so
I can't wait for them to find out a way to bring back Jango Fett.
Oh
man, they're gonna reveal
dude. If Obi-Wan rides one of them Powerpuff Girl scooters, man, I definitely they're gonna be. Oh my god, the mods.
No, better yet, Obi-Wan riding a bantha.
Well, he rides some kind of camel thing. In the trailer.
Now they already lost me because banthas are the way to go always.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a better idea for the show. Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets his ass kicked for 3 episodes, and then we're gonna spend the next 2 episodes not even focusing on Obi-Wan. Instead, we're gonna focus on Yoda, on Dagobah, and then the 6th episode, Yoda is gonna go to Mustafar with Obi-Wan to face Darth Vader, and then they're gonna reveal that Obi-Wan actually died on Mustafar, and then they're gonna reveal that he's gonna come back to life.
He's gonna come back to life. They go live with the Sand People and the Jawas for a couple episodes.
God, Star Wars fans would really fucking hate me if I had to let me
he might go live with the Ewoks. He'd be the first one to visit the Ewoks.
Oh, that's what's even better. It's instead of the Ewoks, okay? It's a bunch of those astromech droids. He's now officially a droid person.
And we could see Jabba in here too. That's another thing.
What if they reveal that Obi-Wan is actually Jabba in disguise?
Food says, y'all, you want to see the shit hit the fan? Yeah, you will. It will. Trust me.
I do.
They're already preparing it already, man. So some of these bigger streams, the Geeks and Gamers and they're already preparing the shit in the fan already. So wait till that's what I was asking Chris. Who was producing? Is this Filoni or is Kathleen? If Kathleen Kennedy especially has a say in it, there's going to be some kind of political message or something there that is just going to just they're going to go ape shit about them. So there's going to be something in there that's who knows, but like I said, there will be some claims. So who knows? Like I said, if Vader steps foot on Tatooine, it's gonna be his shit. It's gonna hit the fan. That's all I can say. But I'm gonna watch it. I know, I'll judge it when I see the episode. But until then, I'm not gonna say nothing until I see it. So, Lord.
Oh man, it's gonna be a treat. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a joyride.
Those what you call it? What we do them round tables are going to be interesting. That's especially if you get certain characters in there on the round tables, it will be interesting. Because there's some people will just hate it no matter what you put out there. So they'll be all hate no matter what. So
very true.
So what else, guys? What else is new that we heard about? Let's see what we said. Instead of having a show focus on Obi-Wan, what if they sideline the story focus on a woman, the Black Inquisitor instead? Well, that's what people are already mad about. I don't, I'm not even going to go into it until I see the show. I mean, if I watch Obi-Wan and I see 2 minutes of Obi-Wan in the whole hour episode, then I'll be like, this is I'll be like, this is crap. But I'm not going into other things until I see the show. Like I said, if we do like a Boba Fett where we don't see him the whole episode and we got characters we never even heard of, then we have problems. But
all right, brothers, I gotta jump out. I got an emergency call. I gotta take care.
RG, I appreciate it. We're probably gonna be ending here pretty soon anyway. But I appreciate
you. Having me on.
Shout out your channel. Shout out your channel, Gene, before you get out of
Hey,
here, bro.
it's what up, though? I'll go on Mondays if I find things that are interesting to talk about, and I've been doing the classic house mixes on Friday. So
Cool.
that's it. And I'm part of Hangout. Me,
Mm-hmm.
you, and Austinator with Bosco. So
Danny, yep, definitely.
So all right, guys.
Gee, have a good night. Have a good weekend, bro.
You guys have a good weekend. Talk to you later.
Awesome. Well, Austin, I think we've talked about pretty much everything that I've heard in pop culture. Did you have anything on wrestling you wanted to bring up or anything?
Oh, well, let me tell you. So, man, this week's pretty fucking crazy. Past 2 weeks been crazy, You know how WWE always basically does everything wrong nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them credit. They did some things right here. First things first, Finn Balor wins the U.S. title. Okay, hey, they're getting, you see that I appreciate. And then, of course, Ricochet won the IC title after being a jobber for about 2 years. So, perfect. Johnny Knoxville taking on Sami Zayn in what possibly could be the greatest wrestling match of all time. Yeah, damn right, WWE really did good on that one. And then to top it all off, Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, shut up and take my money now. Because, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? And then to top it all off, at the AEW stuff, they had their big pay-per-view and, they bought ROH. Which, if it's going to be like a separate thing,
that's what they say. That's what they're saying. It's going to be they're going to run it separate. They may do like invasions or something every so often, but
it's going to be the Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that was
well, you know why they did that? Well, they bought it mostly for the library because they're making a deal with Warner. I guess Warner. They're going to the HBO Max. Where they have the little you have the DC section. They're going to have a ARW section. So they were going to get. They rumored they may buy Impact too to just get for the TV library too. So that's rumor.
To be fair, at this point, Impact is basically worth about a fucking bag of dimes.
Yeah, but it's a big TV library. You'd have that thing with Sting and Main Event Mafia, all that old past content's what they want. That's the main thing.
God, that kind of brings man, TNA, as much as I kind of love to make fun of TNA and the fact that I love to make fun of, Double J, the Memphis mid-card piece of crap, the guy who broke 1,000 guitars, couldn't draw a dime, and all the stupid stuff with Hogan and Bischoff and all that stupid shit. But my God, old TNA was, I kind of miss it,
Oh, yeah.
Because at least you had something to talk about with its stupidity. Nowadays, a lot of times you can't even talk about wrestling because it's so boring,
Yeah.
It's you kind of watch wrestling because I'm watching back, Ruthless Aggression era where, Cena was starting to come up. Of course, the reign of God began. Triple H, I call him God because let's be honest, that's who he is and who he will always be known as. Because his graveyard has basically been filled with all the burials. Although don't get me wrong, I like Triple H, but hey, let's be honest, he had the golden shovel before Cena did, and my God, I kind of yearn for the days of Triple H now. Good man, those are times I wish I was born. I was at least watching wrestling at that time because that was when it was really fun, even though they did a lot of the stupid stuff. Especially, there's this one storyline where it was going into Judgment Day. It was Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, because, a main event in 2002 had to be Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker. But, so there was a segment where, Hogan is in, a vest and, he had, a bike helmet on. And The Undertaker, ties him up and he, drags him around with a motorcycle. I'm just like, this is so silly, but... Man, I wish they could do stuff like this because that's what's sorely missing in wrestling today is you kind of have to have characters. And granted, yes, wrestling means a lot, but you have to have people that are good on the mic and you have to have people that are good personality characters, like, because you don't get that anymore. Not like in, to play devil's advocate, because AEW kind of suffers the same problem too at times, is that, I get it, the wrestling is technically more important, but the characters are what really makes you a big star. Like, you really, like, let's say, today, if would Mark Calloway be over, or is, without the Undertaker gimmick?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not. Would Stone Cold Steve Austin, if he was just called Steve Austin, do you think he'd be over? No.
Well, when he was in WCW, what was his? He was
Stunning Steve.
Stunning Steve, yeah. But yeah, I mean the AEW buying Ring of Honor. I mean, they're going to keep it alive, but there's a lot of TV content on there that's worth a lot. And they said WWE was trying to buy it. They were trying to buy it. They were willing to buy it for the content. The same way they bought ECW and WCW. They wanted all that content. So, like I said, you got the Young Bucks. You got a lot of Bullet Club, Cody, AJ Styles when AJ was in. Bryan Danielson when he was in. You got who most KO, a lot of them guys, they went for Ring of Honor.
And it's like you kind of look back and say, because ROH has its place in history in the sense of without ROH, you can't necessarily, like, without ROH, you wouldn't have guys like CM Punk, like Bryan Danielson, even like an Adam Cole and Owen Zayn, like now. But it's one of those things where you kind of look at it, ROH back then and now, and it's kind of depressing because ROH now is like, if Tony Khan didn't buy it, I'm pretty sure it would have went bankrupt.
Yeah, it was pretty much already to that point. So I like it. People, like I say, WWE was just trying to buy it for the content. They wanted all that because they have a lot of matches they intertwine with New Japan. See that with the Bullet Club and all that. So there's a lot of good show content on there, that especially with all that, because they had they had that with the Bullet Club was going both, because I went and seen a Ring of Honor show over in Palm Beach, and they pretty much, you had Cody, you had the Young Bucks, you had pretty much all those guys on the Bullet Club, the Kingdom and all that, when it was real big in the day. So that's some valuable content. It's good, nice to own. So yeah. So like I said, especially trying to do this deal with Warner, they're trying to get it where they'll get like more money for their on TNT, and that's the thing, they can possibly bring it and then put it on TNT or TBS, so I'll have a television deal too. So that'll help it out. And the problem is you got so many people in AEW that will help it out, so they can push some people over in Ring of Honor, and there's some guys over there, they may just keep, like the Briscoes, if they keep them over there. They just got what's his name? He was in Impact and he went to Ring of Honor. He just signed with AEW, but they could put him back over there again. Jay Lethal.
Yeah, Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. I mean, that's what I say. You can make it where there's different, like I said, it's like a Raw and a SmackDown, and you can bring some over here or bring some over every so often and change it up a little bit, if they want to, but or make one a little more edgier than the other, how if they want to do it that way. So that was pretty name of the old school wrestler from WWE. It was pretty boy, wore pink, tight knee pads, dressed about his looks. What was the name? Bret Hart? You talking about Bret?
I think you might be talking about Rick Martel, maybe.
Or maybe.
Because it was around the Hogan Warrior. So, because I know Martel was big during that stage.
Yeah, Rick Martel. Yeah, could be.
Because Bret really didn't start getting big until after really Hogan was gone. Pretty much.
What's up, Tommy?
What up, Tommy?
What is going on? We're getting into a little wrestling, man. We've been talking a little Marvel and DC and Star Wars for an hour, so we just finally got popped back into some wrestling. Yeah, probably Rick Martel. There's another person. I'm trying to think. Pink. It's got to be Rick, but Rick Martel. I think it
Because
was
I don't
another.
remember Bret Hart ever being obsessed with his looks.
No. Milton, he definitely doesn't like wrestling. I
don't think he does.
I'm talking. Oh Lord. Yeah, Rick Martel. Thank you. Yeah. I believe that. I believe so. Food. I think that was him. Can't remember who these years. Yeah, I miss that old time wrestling. I know it was before your time, Austin, but man, that old school wrestling, that was some of the best. Even though, and you can go back and watch that, and it's still pretty good. Pretty.
Oh, it is. Like, I honestly, I'm kind of on my way out when it comes to like this kind of recent wrestling. Like, there's nothing for me in terms of a wrestling fan because none of it appeals to me. It's like, because this is coming as somebody, because I started watching wrestling back in like 2011, where we're still kind of in the peak Super Cena era.
Yeah.
Punk was kind of on the rise, and I kind of looking back on it, I know a lot of people didn't like Cena on top, and granted, it's fair. Like, you can make the argument that Cena's overrated, and he kind of is, but at the end of the day, he was a megastar. And I think when you started losing your megastars, you kind of there's nothing interesting about the product. And even back in 2011, which was really their last real good year, to be quite honest with you, because that was during the time where Punk was starting to he just did his pipe bomb thing. Orton and Christian were having their big rivalry, which was great. You had Mark Henry getting his world title push after so long. Bryan was starting to get pushed too, and even 2011, they started kind of going toward the 3-hour Raws, which they did it but in 2011 they did it once in a while. They did because they had their special Raw episodes, because they had the Raw Roulette episodes, and they were having those special big which makes sense. Which granted, that was what fucking killed Raw to begin with, was going to 3 hours. I don't know why you would even go to 3 hours, because that's too much. But hey, it wasn't as bad as 4 or 5 hour pay-per-views. I don't know why the fuck you would even do that, WWE. That was stupid. Oh man, that was dumb. Good. That shit pisses me off today. It's you kind of think pay-per-views at most should be 2-3 hours. 2 hours.
Do you like this WrestleMania 2 days deal they come up with?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it because it's their quote-unquote biggest show of the year, and it's the biggest show in sports entertainment, which realistically you can maybe make the argument that it is because it's WrestleMania, but unfortunately there's nothing that's really making me be why is it 2 nights again? Literally this year they only have a handful of matches that actually kind of deserve to be on a WrestleMania card. Exactly. Let alone the fact that people like Logan Paul that's fucking that makes me disgusting. Fucking Logan Paul, Johnny Knoxville. Because of course when I think about fucking wrestling, I think about fucking WWE superstar Johnny Knoxville. Because that's all you think about.
Vince, isn't Vince going to wrestle? They said Vince is going to wrestle again, or he's fighting?
He is not, because he's going to let his new favorite son, Austin Theory, wrestle for him. Yes, you heard it here, folks. Vince McMahon has a new son. He disowned Shane McMahon, and now he gets Austin Theory as his new son. Hooray! It's you kind of back at this fucking stupidity. It's it's all of it started over Survivor.
Well, I heard that EC3 and Braun Strowman started their own little wrestling company, and they were having some kind of booking thing, and WWE was booking a freaking show in the same day in the same town as them, and they were trying to mess them, and they were suing WWE for something that they were trying to mess up.
Actually, it was actually not WWE that did it. It was something called MLW, I think it's like Major League Wrestling or something. I don't know, but apparently they were running at the same. They were running basically like kind of next to each other on the same day, and they're like, hey, can you not do that?" And they try to run them out, and they're like, no, like, But it's just, God, it's so like, like, good God, It's like.
Yeah.
Wrestling has kind of regressed. Like, have we cut? Like, we went from the Hogan era to we were kind of transitioning, to the next new generation era, and then they went to like the Attitude era, and then we kind of had the Ruthless Aggression era, which was kind of like your hybrid Attitude era, sort of. It's not really, but and then you kind of go back to the Hogan era-esque with Cena, and then they don't even know what the fuck they're doing now.
The crap era. The crap era.
The crap era is being really nice about it. And you know what?
Garbage dumpster era. What do you call it?
I mean, honestly, you could say anything, and honestly, I'd believe you. And, it's kind of you look back and you just say, well, WWE has been doing a lot of this shady shit for years. I mean, they've, when we talk about the shit that they pulled with NXT, what about the shit they pulled with ECW? Like, remember when they fucked that up? Like, I'm not shocked at this point.
What, NXT just got a new champion too, I heard. What's his name? Ziggler? Was it Ziggler won or something like that?
Yeah, because nothing screams fucking NXT more like Dolph Ziggler. What the fuck are they doing? Oh my God, yeah, you know how to make a fucking company like just. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Dolph, but why in the bluest?
Why is he in NXT? That's another thing.
Why in the bluest of blue fucks is Dolph Ziggler not only in NXT but as NXT champion? What in the fuck are they doing over there? Yeah. And honestly, all I can do is laugh because realistically, that's all you can do. Like.
NXT's got some. I give NXT. They do have a couple wrestlers who's really good. You've seen that new wrestler, Nakaya or something. She's a blonde. She's a real, pretty tall.
I've seen her.
Boy, she's something now.
She is very curvaceous. But no, it's like, and the thing is about this new NXT, and granted, I give it shit, and let me tell you, when I give it shit, I do, but I'm not saying all of it is bad, because honestly, it's really not that bad, but it's not good. Like, you look back at what NXT was, and you look at it now, you're kind of like, what the fuck happened in the span of that period of time? And I know I keep coming on the show and ranting on about NXT and about how they basically just pissed all over Triple H and just said, yeah, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. Triple H, you gotta take it. It's just...
Pretty much.
It's just... and granted, yeah, you have same guys like Ciampa and, you have a couple of the mainstays there, but, I understand, they want to make NXT back into developmental, and that's fine. I get it. NXT was developmental, and maybe to an extent, maybe it should have stayed that way. Because and you know what? I'll play devil's advocate for a second because I'm gonna have to talk bad about Triple H here for a second because I'm gonna try and make maybe the argument that maybe Triple H didn't do a great job at preparing wrestlers for the main roster. Like, it felt more like it was more like, hey, we're working a certain style in NXT, but when you go up to the main roster, oh well, it's like, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I understand what Triple H was trying to do, especially, around 2018 when they started bringing in all, like, Gargano, Ciampa, Cole, Ballard, Joe. They tried to make it into, like, their own little indie thing, which, for what it was really good. But the problem is you kind of lose what NXT was supposed to be, and that was you were supposed to make new talent for your main roster. And when guys like Gargano and Ciampa are like, no, we're not going up there, we're staying down here, you kind of look back and say, well, it kind of does devalue. And granted, the main roster is like literally might as well just be a graveyard and literally might as well be garbage cans, but you kind of, I'm not saying I don't understand that, the whole developmental thing. I don't understand why we needed to have this whole entire rebrand this whole entire like, oh, we need to make NXT like, because the thing is, if you just kept NXT what it was and you brought in all these new people, nobody would have batted an eye. Like, people would have just been like, you know, hey, guys like Braun Breaker coming in, you know, Carmelo Hayes, you know, hey, why not? You know, but you kind of like, then they start the logo was the first thing that made me go, wait, what?
Oh,
like,
the new one, yeah.
The new logo just made me go, what? Why?
The music, the look, everything. It's
like everything went for, because, you know, NXT had like this gritty feel to it, and then it just felt like cartoonish.
Yeah, it was like, you especially had some of them songs. So they did the roar of the crowd, and that one when Malachi Black was, you know, came in. You know, they had some it was just, had a, like I said, a grittier feeling to it. And you know, and you guys say they did bring a lot of good talent up there that came out of nowhere. You know, it was just small talent, and they made them superstar. Bailey. I saw Bailey when she was nothing, and then look at her now. I mean, so
Bailey's like practically a mega star.
Yeah, and I saw her when she was just like almost like an indie wrestler, and you know, she was like, no, she was just a jobber, and then she's moved up to, like I said, she's like mega star. Sasha, all them, and then, you know, they have really, you know, grown. But like, the thing about Adam Cole was big before he went there, so he was already, that was the only thing about him. He was a big star in our Ring of Honor. Kevin Owens was, and all that. But like Bailey and them, some of them grew like out of that thing. But they pushed some of them too quickly into that main roster. They didn't, like, Bailey was there a long time. She was there a long time till they finally moved them up, because they used to not move them up as quickly, and then they just seemed like, oh, you're here 2 months, and then you're moved up to the main roster. So that's just
a lot of the problem is when you release a lot of your talent and you don't have any talent, you're like, shit, get up here, like, type of thing. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things where sometimes, you know, in NXT, certain stars don't get pushed as much as others, and a lot of times it's mainly because they get brought in at like the wrong time. Like, you look at guys like Austin Aries, you know, guys like, you know, EC3, who might have benefited from coming in later down the line. Like, I think if Aries came in now,
mentioning Austin Aries, he was just at a show, indie, in a bar wrestling indie show in Daytona last week, I think it was.
Oh, really?
So yeah. It's a big indie show, but he was just over there. Friend went, saw him. Yeah. Him. Who else was over there? I remember Austin Aries came into NXT, and he was. I can't remember. They even put him up to the main roster? He got kicked out before he went to the main roster, didn't he?
Well, he was in NXT for, I'd say, roughly a few months, because he didn't even do anything in NXT either. Like, he debuted against Corbin, feuded with Nakamura, had a throwaway feud with No Way Jose, and then they kind of, I think he was supposed to be with Hideo Itami, I think, but then he got hurt, and then Austin Aries ended up getting hurt against Nakamura, and then he ended up becoming a commentator for 205 Live, which, God, they got rid of that too, which, I mean,
that's gone too.
A part of me is like, well, it's not really a big loss because not a lot of people really watched it, but you know, that was really where the cruiserweights were able to do shit. Now it's like NXT, because then they got rid of the cruiserweight title, which, you know, it's whatever. I mean, the title, to be quite honest, was dead even like when they tried to revive it a little bit, but even then it was just like a matter of time. And then Aries kind of worked in 205 Live after he recovered. He kind of had like a feud with Neville for a bit, and then he got released because of poor attitude and just like being just an overall prick, you know. And granted, do not quote me on that, because like I said, that's basically from what I heard. But, you know, you kind of look at a guy like Austin Aries, who, you know, was really big in TNA. Like, we're talking big. Like, he was a world champion. Like, he was a world champion. Like, he even introduced the concept of like I think it was like clause, like the X Division clause, where it's like once a year at like Destination X. Like
I enjoyed watching him. I liked him there, and I liked him in NXT. I got to meet him a couple times over in Fort Pierce. Yeah, as my friend was just telling me, because there's a big promotion out of Daytona area called ARW, and they sort of got a training facility too. So they have the younger talent, and then they usually bring a big and they have a show. It's at a bar club. It's over on the Daytona, around the coastline. So they'll play this. They usually play a bigger arena, but then they'll play like this is like a once a month. It's like called an underground. It's an underground thing. It's a ring inside the bar, and you stand. There's no seats or nothing. But Austin Aries was there the other day, and they say he put on a hell of a show. I mean, he really cool thing. Yep, because the guy Songs we used to hang when we go to NXT. So, but I don't know where he's. I think he's in Impact still. I believe right now. Did he go back to Impact or did he go to New Japan? I know because his contract was all over the place.
Who was it?
I know when he left one, and he was in Impact or Ring of Honor. He might have been Ring of Honor. He might have went back to Ring of Honor.
Which superstar?
Austin Aries. Where's he at now?
So Aries, after he left, I think he went back to Impact for like
Impact,
I think it was like a year or so. I think he won the Impact title a couple times, and then the whole thing with Johnny Mundo or Johnny Morrison happened. Where basically he no-sold like the finish of a pay-per-view and he quit.
Yeah.
And then he was in ROH for, I don't even remember how long he was there. I don't know if it was like a one-off appearance. Like I know he did a few indies, major indies.
We got NWA too, the NWA promotion too.
Which when I saw that, it kind of came like I knew it was kind of relevant, sort of, because when TNA first started, the NWA was like their kind of like big thing.
The owner's the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, because he was trying to buy Impact back in the day, and that fell through. What's his name? Billy Corgan or something.
Billy Corgan, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I got a question for you. I don't play video games, so do you know if you played either one of these video games Food is talking about?
Yes, and actually, before I came on here, I recently just played the new wrestling, the new 2K game, which is really fun. Is WWE 2K20? If we're talking about 2K20 or Battlegrounds, kind of depends on what your taste is. Because granted, if we're talking maybe launch as well, I'd say 2K20 was horrible. Like it was bad. It was littered with glitches. It was completely broken. Unfinished, there was a lot of just like really bad, really horribly made. It was poorly done. I'd say maybe Battlegrounds was better, but even then, it wasn't even that good. Like it was kind of like the WWE All Stars game that came out like it was like in 2011, where it was like that arcade. They were on steroids. It was kind of like that, but imagine it being like watered down. Like imagine making a game like that so not fun. And then they try to pull. It's like, good lord! Even wrestling games kind of took a real backseat.
Did you ever have the Nintendo 360?
The Xbox 360?
No. The not the N64. The Nintendo N64.
I have one.
Did you have the wrestling games on there? The one game is it's like fire. They came out with what was it? I think was it the WCW? Was it WCW? They had WCW, NWO. I remember when that came out.
It was World Tour, and then they did Revenge, and then
Revenge. It must be
WrestleMania 2000, and then they had No Mercy.
The one is when you see Sting. They got Sting. They got the truck going by and Sting's in there. It's really good because I remember that one.
Now I have that one, and I will second that. It is really good.
Yeah.
Although I kind of wish I could get my hands on a PS2 and get Here Comes the Pain, because because we're talking like wrestling games, like that was like the pinnacle. Like we went into that direction, and then they kind of regressed. But that's and that's why I sort of kind of came to the realization you kind of have to cherish what you have now, because you can't really get those times back.
Exactly. Well, AEW is going to have a wrestling game coming out, I think, in October too. I seen.
Hang on, let me see, because I heard they may have postponed it again.
Did they postpone it? Okay, I saw a preview on Clip Zone. They had
well, it's saying most recently 2022, but we haven't really gotten anything really. We really got no knowledge on it other than it's gonna happen, and I might buy it because I'm the wrestling connoisseur. Wheel, but it's really hard for me to really talk about and get into wrestling. Like, actually kind of more going more on the positive side of things, because I've been way too negative on wrestling all night. I kind of wanted to I want to kind of go back and maybe talk about some of my most cherished, maybe some of the matches I kind of saw recently that actually, looking back on them, like, they're really good. Like, one of the most underrated matches I think no one really talks about is Rey Mysterio and The Undertaker at Royal Rumble, where you had, this was around the time when Taker was kind of on his way out as being a full-time guy, and Rey at this time Rey was still relatively big then, and he kind of is big now. So you kind of have like that big man versus small guy type of match, and it really worked with Rey and Undertaker. Like, they had really good chemistry as well. Because again, kind of going back to some of Rey's stuff, because Rey is somebody that I feel like never got, as much as I know people say he's like one of the greatest of all time, I don't think he's given enough credit, to be quite honest with you. Like, you kind of look back at what he's done and some of the matches he's had, like, he's kind of lost in the shuffle. Like, without Rey, you wouldn't have a lot of what wrestling is today. I mean, you look at his match with Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc, which that match might easily be one of Rey, if not Rey's greatest match that he's ever had.
Great matches back in WCW with him, Guerrero, Benoit, and Jericho's old match. There's some great matches back in the day. And then when they came over to WWE, that little group came over there. It just Malenko. Oh my God, really good.
And even Rey, and even when Rey came in, when he first came in 2002, when he faced Angle at SummerSlam, that was really good too. Like, and that kind of goes to show you how good Kurt Angle was too. Kurt Angle, is somebody who was never not an experienced wrestler. In the span of a couple years, can wrestle a broomstick and have one of the best matches of the show. Like, that's how talented he was. And and even like, it's like, Rey and you know what? Rey was one of those guys, because there's really a rare breed of wrestlers that can wrestle a guy who can't wrestle whatsoever and yet pull on a great match. Like, Angle was one of them. Angle, HBK, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Flair, not so much, because realistically, even though, granted, I think Flair is good, if you've seen one Ric Flair match, you've kind of seen them all.
Yeah, because he does the same thing, the fall moves. And look, Austin, you got a wrestling fan now. He's going to go watch the wrestling show. He ain't seen one in 2 decades.
Holy shit!
I would go back and watch some of the older matches. I would watch some of the newer stuff. But yeah, but
and you know what? Actually, kind of even talk about underrated to an extent. I would even say Randy Orton is kind of underrated in his own way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand maybe saying he's overrated, because you can say, well, he's a 14-time world champion, but I disagree. I think he's probably one of the wrestlers that don't get a lot of credit now. He's a guy that, all the guys that were, in his era are either gone or retired or just flat out they don't wrestle anymore. Randy's been with that company through the thick and thin for almost
a long time.
2 decades. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Coming up soon will be the 20-year anniversary of Randy Orton kind of debuting on SmackDown, and it'll be 20 years since Super Cena came.
He was one of the youngest wrestlers to win the title too, back in the day.
Yeah, too bad we can't talk about it now because of what happened. But you kind of, but when Randy was starting out, he put on some really good stuff. His match with Foley at Backlash, that made him like.
Yeah, you're right, Tommy. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I have to watch it because I have to because at this point I can't complain about it if I don't watch it. So unfortunately, I have to force myself to watch it. And granted, maybe it's kind of like the hypocrisy of things. I also kind of say, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Milton said, "Me and my girlfriend could give you a wrestling match you would never forget, but you won't be allowed to participate." I don't like it.
Hey, no worries, Milton. I'm kind of on the same. I'm in the same boat as you, my friend. Same boat. So I'm not.
He said earlier. His girlfriend liked women's matches. So,
but man, and even kind of going back, like Orton and Edge, this was a match I forgot about. I think they had a really good match at Vengeance, and then had a really good one on Raw. Like you could that was around the time. Man, that was like, this was when Orton was young and he was hungry, and like he really was like, he was like, I wouldn't say like fully driven, but like he was really good, and he's still good now if he really cared. Like he has to be given something really good to work with if Randy's gonna put on like a match that's like worth his time. Like, because you kind of look back at some of his like most recent matches, like him and Seth had a really good match like a few years ago at WrestleMania. You had Orton Orton is just underrated, and maybe to an extent, no, I wouldn't even put Cena in the underrated category. I'd just say he was good. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as he was good enough to be a 16-time world champion, but I could understand that, Cena, he was, the kids, I get it, Batista was another guy that I feel like doesn't get a lot of appreciation, because you look back at Batista back then and you kind of look now, it's like Batista was a guy that had a great physique, for a guy that was as old as he was at that time, because you kind of forget Batista was like, I think it was like in his late 30s by the time he joined he joined the company, and then but yeah, he was putting on some really good matches. It's kind of like it's like one of those things where maybe age is no longer an excuse, because at 40, 50 years old, Batista's putting on pretty solid matches. You kind of look back and just say, man, it's kind of looking back, it's kind of depressing now. We'll watch.
So you're in the same boat. You want to watch My Girlfriend and I Get Kinky. I don't know if we're into female bodybuilders too. Oh, God, it's crazy. Yeah.
Or some like other. You know what? Honestly, kind of going back to Undertaker, Taker, he and Kurt had a really good match at No Way Out. As like, it was a really good technical. It's kind of like, I really wish Taker and Angle faced off at Mania and had Angle break the streak, and Taker then. Because honestly, that could have easily been one of that's one of those matches that Taker should have had, and maybe he should have. And I get maybe Kurt didn't want to do it, but you kind of look back and say, Taker, at that time, I think he was in his prime at that point, I guess you could say. Like, he was still putting on some quality performances, even in, like, the late 2000s,
Yeah.
Even though he did take a couple, he would sometimes take a few months off, but, like, he would put on top quality performances. It's just later down the line that, Goldberg happened.
Yeah.
That match. Oh, my God. Don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about the when Shawn Michaels came out of retirement, and then faced Brothers of Destruction. That made legitimately that I have not seen that match, and I refuse to, because I would like to pretend that match did not happen, and that WrestleMania 26 was the last match Shawn Michaels ever had, not a shitty tag match with God, Undertaker, and Kane in 2018. Because, good Lord.
Yeah.
But
well, mentioning Taker, did they are putting him in the Hall of Fame this year, right?
yes.
Okay, finally.
Which makes sense in Dallas, it's in Texas. Although maybe you could have put him in Death Valley. They should have had the Hall of Fame in Death Valley. But, that's neither here nor there. I mean, honestly, to be quite honest, they should just make the Hall of Fame this year like a one-man Hall of Fame. You know how they did it with Andre in '93? I think they should have done it with Taker here. Because nobody matches up to him. Not even God does.
Mm-hmm. Austin, you got to invite to us to New Zealand, brother, if you want to go.
Well, that's what made a bit awkward, bit of silence. Maybe I should invite out. I'll wear the striped shirt for you.
Okay.
I'll wear the striped shirt for you. I'll lube myself up,
Yeah, and we'll put this right before it. We'll put this right there. You ready to go? Does that match? Will that match start out like this?
Yes, it would.
Oh Lord. Well, we've hit over the 2-hour mark. I know I'm probably going to be pretty ready to go to bed here in a minute. Austin, anything else before we shut her down?
No, I think we basically covered everything, and even it was actually really fun, really nice talking and kind of ranting about wrestling, because it's like
yeah, definitely.
I haven't talked about it in so long. I know I kind of want to start doing videos and just kind of reviewing old pay-per-views. I know I keep talking about it, but it's but I specifically want to talk about more stuff from 2002 to 2008.
The old school wrestling.
Because it's just, I don't want to talk about new stuff. I can't bring myself to do it. It's just, I want to talk about stuff that I genuinely would like to have fun and watch.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll happen in the near future, but we'll see.
See, normally the matches pretty quickly as she picked me up and froze me into the bed.
It ends in 18 seconds.
Boom. Let me see. Let me give him a wrestling thing for that one. Where's it at? Where's it at, man? Oh crap! But I still got any. It's going to give you. Okay, there you go. There you go. We're only 18 seconds. Yeah. I show my wrestling match here, Yep. Well, guys, let me see. What Milton say for me? He says, "Okay, watching is like a live action cartoon." Yeah, pretty much. It's a soap opera and a live action cartoon, pretty much. Exactly. Did you ever? I was gonna say we mentioned cartoons on W. Did you ever watch those WWE the cartoon? What was it? Camp WWE they had on the network.
Oh, me and my dad when the network was still around and not on a fifth-rate streaming service.
Yes.
For what it was, it's stupid, but. Yes. You know what? The luxury of having Vince McMahon voice himself in an animated adult cartoon with children versions of WWE wrestlers, with John Cena being the kid that's he's the innocent kid. Yeah, Stone Cold being the kid that's causing all the ruckus. Undertaker being a goth. It's so dumb. Yeah. But yet you kind of find it endearing. It's stupid.
When I was a kid, they had the old school wrestling, the Hulk Hogan's Heroes one. When they had Nikolai. I used to love that show, man. I know some people they had the Junkyard Dog and all that. And it was pretty much him. He was always fighting with the Iron Sheik. It was sort of like a GI Joe. He was the good guys against the bad guys, and he had the Iron Sheik and the who had Nikolai Volkov. Who else?
And
was
Tommy,
in there? Piper, and all them in it.
I am with you, Tommy. I recently rewatched. I think I recently watched the first season of Lucha Underground, and it was really good. Like, you're talking about something that was really different.
Yeah.
Like, it was edgy. People literally were killed in the show. Mm-hmm. I think at one time, Rey Mysterio even himself got murdered on in a wrestling show. Imagine me saying on air that Rey Mysterio got murdered by somebody on a wrestling show.
Oh yeah. And the concrete blocks, and they'd be hitting each other head with the concrete blocks and stuff. It was entertaining. That was an entertaining show. How many seasons did that end up doing? 4? I think 4 or 5.
4.
Yeah. It was different. It was something new to watch. That was what was cool about it and all that. But yeah, guys, we're about fixing to shut down here. I'll get Austinator to shout out his channel, and we'll go from there. Austin, shout out his channel, brother.
Yeah, I got my own channel. I do a bunch of stuff over there. Just go and subscribe. Just check me out everywhere. I'm on usually weekly wrap up on Chris Knight's channel if I have time. You can find me on the Hangout on Wednesdays on the Basso Scenarios channel. You can find me even here late on Friday nights on the Jasonlee Tucker Statement. And you can usually find me whenever on Ninjoid's channel whenever he does his streams. And I'm just basically everywhere. If you've seen anybody's channels at this point, I'm basically on one or the other. So, just check me out there. And I'm also on Twitter at the Austinator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check me out. Jason, thanks for having me on, man. This was fun.
It's been a great show tonight. We had G came in with us earlier. We went through Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and dove into the wrestling. I appreciate everybody copped in the chat. Tommy and Milton. We'll have to bring you on, Milton. You can tell us about all these stories, man. These threesomes and what all this wrestling you do over in New Zealand sometime. Food was in here. Let me see who else we had. I know Sherry popped in. Basco popped in. Poe was here earlier. Josh was here. Nendroid was here a little bit. Sherry G and guys, and anybody rewatches. Please subscribe, share, and like. Check if you are subscribed. Make sure you're still subscribed, because I know YouTube has been really crazy lately. They've been taking. They took 12 subscribers from me the other day. I went over 300 subs, and then I shot down to 290 in one day, and I'm back up. I think I'm 301 right now, so I've got some back, but I don't know what happened. But I've had some people. I know Tommy here said that he subscribed to me twice, and they keep taking his sub away. So I don't know what's going on. And I was on somebody's. There was what's the name? There was somebody. I was watching somebody's stream there. They had 100. They were just busted over 100 subscribers, and they were having a celebration stream. And YouTube took their subscribers away from during their 100 subscriber stream. They went from 102 to 89 during the stream. So I was like,
crap.
I said that the guy was pissed off, man. I don't blame him. I wasn't mad as hell about it. But I guess guys, definitely check. Just check your subscriber, because like I said, YouTube are unsubscribing people. So and then when they unsubscribe you, then we have a show. You don't know when we have our shows, because that's what happens on Facebook. I just had to go check Facebook, because I do stream this on Facebook, and Facebook decides to put my shows on private, so I'm the only one who can watch my own shows. So I have to change the privacy thing on Facebook all the time, because I have some friends on Facebook that doesn't go on YouTube at all. So I try to at least able to show streams, especially if I do wrestling shows or different things. So get a chance they can watch the show. But I appreciate everybody, guys. Like I said, I think this Sunday night, Chris Knight's going to be back on a Hanstar channel with Name That Tune. Anybody likes it's fun game show. Even if you don't play, you come watch it out. Come watch it. I know me, Elihu. Trying to think of some couple of different people. We get on there, have a good time. Mr. CVD, Darius, sometimes on there. It's a fun show. He's looking for contestants, looking for eight or nine contestants. Get a hold of Chris or Deej, because they're running it for Han right now. Sunday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. My schedule is different this week. I'm going to be working 7 to 3, so I'll be able to actually come on the streams next week during normal times. I might do a couple streams during normal times. So, like on Hangout, I'll be actually Basker's. I'll actually be in the studio for a show this coming Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So check out Basker's Scenario, the Hangout. And Mike saw me and him have the coffee break show. We used to have it 11:15 on Wednesday night, but it might be earlier this week due to like I said, my time change. And then me and Austin will be back here next Friday. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to see the Batman. So if we do, we'll get to talk about that. But of course, there's going to be so much more in the news, coming up with Doctor Strange. I'm sure more stuff's going to hit out in the news. So check us out next Friday. And guys, y'all have a great evening. Have a good weekend and be safe out there, guys. Peace.
Peace.